Tell you what though, a bit of a clear out inside and it'd be a wicked place for a wild camp with that skylight on the...
What?
It's a real gun. Is that really?
It's not a cap gun or anything?
Well,
in remote places, even ordinary moments can turn dangerous fast. A woman driving alone across Alaska notices a car lingering behind her in the snow, while deep in the woods, a camper hears footsteps circling her tent after dark. With no clear answers, fear sets in quickly. So if you were alone out there, would you ignore the feeling that something was watching you? On December 20th, 2025, the YouTube channel A Tiny Nomad documented a solo winter drive through Alaska. The journey followed Gina, a nomadic traveler living out of her Toyota 4Runner, as she traveled from Palmer toward Fairbanks, the coldest city in the United States. The channel centers on slow travel winter survival and a minimalist lifestyle on the road. This time, the environment offered nothing but cold distance and silence.
Y'all just don't even know how much I'm enjoying this section of the Parks Highway right now. For it to be dead of winter and this road to be so nice is a freaking luxury. Not having to worry about ice or even slow down, I'm cruising. I know it's not gonna last long though. They've done a really fantastic job at keeping this road, at least this section, plowed and clear. I just checked Denali National Park weather, which is, I think Denali's an hour and a half, 2 max away from Fairbanks, and it's supposed to snow in Denali tonight, which could mean snow for that whole area. That could make a difference on if I decide to keep driving all day today or to stop. I would rather not drive this highway if it's gonna snow tonight. And I just found out it is calling for snow tonight in Fairbanks. So I might want to try to get to Fairbanks by tonight. Alright, we have officially got into this section where it's pretty nasty. This is just straight ice we're driving on right now. Well, friends, we may not make it to Fairbanks today like I thought, because I did not expect this highway to be as bad as it is. It was so good in the beginning, and now I'm just driving on ice. I've never driven on ice like this before. I'm having to drive very slow. Right now I'm going 35 miles per hour. It's absolutely brutal, you guys. It's awful. I have been going about 45 miles per hour for a long time now, and nobody's behind me. That means that most people probably don't drive on this road in the winter, I guess. The bright side is we are officially halfway there.
As Gina left Palmer and headed north, the temperature dropped quickly and daylight faded. What started as a manageable drive required constant caution, with every decision influenced by ice cold and isolation. Alone inside the vehicle, she reduced her speed, understanding that confidence mattered less than control. The trip gradually became more tense.
I'm trying to thaw out my drone right now so I can get some drone shots of this gorgeous winter landscape, but it's pretty frozen. Look at that sunset, you guys! The colors are fantastic. Well, I just pulled over to fly my drone for the first time today after warming it up because it was frozen. Then when I went to fly it, the battery just completely depleted. I'm guessing that was because it was in freezing temperatures for a while. We're about 150 miles from Fairbanks, and I still have not decided if I'm gonna drive all the way there tonight. All right, we just hit negative 18 degrees. Ouch, this is the coldest weather I've ever experienced in my life. Yeah, negative 18, it's frigid. It hurts my hands. Crushing. God, so beautiful. Just hit negative 20. All right, you guys. So I think I've made a decision about what I'm gonna do tonight. The internet says that it is 6 degrees in Denali National Park right now. It's negative 15 right now, so we'll see if that's true. And if it is 6 degrees there, I'm going to pull over and sleep there. The temperature is supposed to just get warmer through the nights. I think it's going to go up to like 12 degrees. I could make it to Fairbanks tonight, but the reason I don't want to do that is 2 reasons. It's getting dark, and the darker it gets, the less easily I can see moose, and hitting one of those can be life-threatening. Another reason why I don't really want to go straight to Fairbanks is because I think when we get there, it's going to be negative 17 degrees, and because I've never tested my sleeping bag out in that weather yet, I don't really want to do that. Could just get a very cheap hotel for the night there, but if it's 6 degrees in Denali, we're just gonna do that. It is supposed to snow a little. I'll tell you what though, this road is clear as a mother. It is beautiful. I would even be willing to sleep in my sleeping bag at negative 10. I just don't want to go straight to negative 18. You should never do that with sleeping bags. Okay, the weatherman is playing games with me because it is not getting warmer, it's turning colder. Negative 24? Well, we just passed the entrance for Denali National Park and it's negative 20. I don't know what is going on with that weather forecast. Okay, we have went from like negative 22 to negative 13. We'll see. We'll see if it keeps going down. It is at negative 9 degrees right now. We're actually going down. 5 miles ago, we were at negative 20, right when I passed the Denali Park Road. If it actually goes down to the 5 degrees like the weather forecast said, it's going to be seriously blown. We might camp here because it is negative 4 degrees and I feel very comfortable in that temperature. So since it's supposed to snow tonight, I'm gonna put this Arctic frost cover thing over my front windshield. It's definitely still very cold out there because with the wind chill, it's making it negative 18. Usually I sleep with no socks, but it does feel pretty cold tonight, so I'm gonna put some fresh, clean wool socks on.
Near Denali, black ice removed any sense of safety margin. Equipment struggled against the freezing conditions, and even short stops became difficult. Instead of continuing through the darkness, rather than continue into darkness, Gina chose to stop and sleep inside the vehicle, managing warmth and fatigue while the temperature outside kept falling. Stopping reduced risk, but did not remove it.
There's snow road, you guys. There's snow road today. This is wild. There's a truck like 100 feet ahead of me right now. Cannot even see the truck. Super low visibility. God. Nobody is driving on this road today. God. Well, that was just weird. There was this person following me and I just pulled over to let them pass because that's what I always do, especially during weather like this. And when I went to pull over, they pulled over too, directly behind me. Okay, I guess I'll just keep on going. So I keep on going. Car starts moving again too, and probably 5 or 10 miles down the road, I was like, I do not want this car behind me anymore. So I pulled into this rest stop that I'm at right now. They pull into the rest stop, get right behind me, park their car, and I'm just sitting here like wondering like what are they gonna do? Then all of a sudden they drive away and then they turn around and start going the opposite direction. Honestly, weird. It makes it even weirder the fact that they didn't drive on and just keep on going the direction they were going, but they turned around. 30 more miles. We are almost there. Well, we are stuck behind this snowplow truck that's going about 25 miles per hour. Well, the snow blows behind the truck and just really impairs your visibility. I mean, look at this. There's a car right in front of me, but you can barely see it. Even with the car's blinkers on, can't really see it. Winter wonderland it is.
following day, snowfall intensified and visibility almost disappeared. As Gina neared Fairbanks, another vehicle appeared behind her, stopping when she stopped waiting when she waited. There were no signals and no explanation. It remained there just long enough to feel intentional, as though its presence carried a purpose left unsaid. Eventually, the road opened up, Fairbanks came into sight, and she arrived safely, leaving the encounter unresolved. Many viewers focused less on the cold itself and more on the unease created by being silently followed without explanation. When nothing actually happens but intent still feels present, how do you distinguish coincidence from something more? On January 5th, 2023, the YouTube channel Camper Vibe uploaded a video documenting a 48-hour solo camping trip in southern England. The journey followed a woman camping alone in Daring Woods, also referred to as Screaming Woods, near the village of Pluckley in Kent. The channel focuses on solo camping, outdoor living, and quiet personal experiences in nature. This trip unfolded inside a forest she did not fully understand before night arrived.
Pluckley is Britain's most haunted village. In fact, with over 14 known ghosts, it has a spot in the Guinness Book of World Records confirming it's the most haunted place in the UK. Dinner tonight is going to be a simple affair. Meatballs and pasta out of a packet. The owls are out already. It's getting cold. There is a lot of noises in these woods. Sounds like kids screaming. That's just a train. Is it a bird or is it kids screaming? That's a bird. That's a gunshot. I don't know if you'll be able to hear a lot of this, it's pretty distant, but it sounds like kids screaming. Honestly, I've never known a woods with so many strange noises. It's not just your normal birds and stuff and planes, there's a lot of planes. There's like this weird... This is definitely odd. I've got no idea if you guys heard that or not, but honestly, I don't like it. It's not deer, like I know what deer sound like. I've spent so much time with deer.
As the first night settled in, the forest revealed itself through sound instead of sight. Screams echoed across Daring Woods, distant, sharp, and impossible to identify with certainty. At times they sounded like a child, while at others they resembled an injured animal. With no phone signal and no obvious source, the darkness offered nothing except unanswered noise. The sounds continued, refusing to reveal what they were. Later that night, the fear moved closer.
Was that? I don't want to turn the light on because I'm pretty convinced there's been a person or persons. What the fuck is going on? That's just the owls. I didn't want to turn the light on earlier because I swear to God that was footsteps. I'm sure I can still hear footsteps. And trains.
Footsteps could be heard circling the hammock shelter during the early morning hours. They slowed down, stopped, then started again close enough to feel intentional. She stayed completely still, choosing not to use a flashlight, aware that light could expose her location more than provide reassurance. Whatever was moving remained just beyond confirmation. It had been a long and mostly sleepless night, but with the weather looking okay, I wanted to make the most of my time. There is absolutely no signal or phone service in these woods whatsoever, but I could pick up the van's Wi-Fi. Look at that, the woods I was in last night, the creepy, noisy woods. You can book, it's so haunted, you can book a ghost tour. What on earth? Well, it's not every day you see an old truck in the middle of nowhere.
I've got absolutely no idea how this old Bedford truck would have got here. I'll tell you what though, a bit of a clear out inside and it'd be a wicked place for a wild camp. Definitely reckon I could get my hammock in the corner up there and then across on the angle. What a cracking little spot to camp out that would be. Absolutely mental.
Daylight brought context rather than comfort. Using Wi-Fi from her van, she researched the area and discovered she had camped in Screaming Woods, a forest known for unsettling history and local folklore. While nearby, she noticed an abandoned truck sitting deep inside the woods, far from any accessible road. Its presence felt out of place, reinforcing the unease left behind from the previous night. Learning more about the location only intensified the discomfort. The second night was quieter, but no less disturbing. Without the earlier sounds, her attention shifted inward.
My current view as a lookout over camp. As you can imagine, knowing what I know now, being alone in the woods is a little bit eerie. I just want to quickly show you one thing. I think I got a shot of it last night in my petrified state when I was trying to be quiet. Let's see if I can find it in the dark. There's camp way over there, and as I came around the corner when I was walking about last night, oh, focus, tell me that that doesn't look like a child's face or two children. So as I came round, I had my head torch on and I walked like that and literally just jumped out of me.
Under the beam of a flashlight, the shapes of the trees appeared distorted. One burned trunk resembling the faces of two children staring back at her. Whether it was an illusion or coincidence, the image stayed with her. When the trip finally ended, no explanation ever came. She left the forest shaken, unable to explain what she heard or why it all felt intentional. Viewers remained divided, some blamed wildlife or imagination, while others believed the footsteps pointed to a nearby human presence. When fear comes from what remains unseen, does learning the truth really matter, or is uncertainty itself the real danger? On April 20th, 2022, YouTuber Lawn Care Juggernaut went out to do what he normally did, offering free lawn mowing to people who needed help. It was supposed to be a simple act of kindness on what should have been a normal day.
It's overgrown, but it's all dry. It's dying out. We're almost to leaf season. As you can see, this one's starting to turn yellow back here. If you are in the Tulsa area and you know of somebody that is in need, whether it's with a leaf cleanup or with a lawn service, I will do my best to try to fit in as many people as I possibly can to help them out.
He noticed an abandoned house nearby and decided to clean up the property. When nobody answered the door, he went to a neighbor to ask for permission to take care of the yard.
Alright, so on this property, I'm coming in, trimming up all the bushes, mowing the grass. I noticed it was overgrown, and so I knocked on the door. There was no answer. So I knocked on the neighbor's door, see if I could find anything out about it, because it looked abandoned. Then I knocked at the neighbor's door across the street. No answer at either door. And then over to the property on the right, car pulls up, and it ended up being the resident over there. And I talked to him. He said, well, I think that house was foreclosed on. I haven't seen anybody coming and going for a while. And so at that point, I just figured, whatever, it's abandoned. I'm going to come knock it out, make some content for you guys.
After getting permission, he started working. He cleared leaves and cleaned the property like any other job. But as he moved toward the back of the yard, something began to feel wrong. He noticed a strong smell, the kind that lingers and refuses to fade. Almost immediately, he sensed something was not right and decided to contact authorities.
So I'm going to do my best to respect the person that lived here. I'm going to clean up the front and make it look as awesome as I possibly can and edge it up, but I can't go in the backyard again. The smell's very, very stout. I assume somebody knows because the windows are all open, and I assume they're airing out the house, but I will go ahead and notify authorities and just say, hey, I was at this property. I smelled a strong smell of death at the house. You might just want to do a check.
Part of what pushed him to make that decision was a memory from his childhood, something that had stayed with him for years, and reminded him that moments like this should never be ignored. He made the call, explained what he had noticed, and waited.
When I was 10 years old, my grandmother passed away. They didn't find her for about a week, and that's kind of how she was found. Is they did a property check. I tore my mother up. I don't want to talk about that too much, but because I understand the situation, I'm going to do my best to be extremely extremely respectful with this.
When the police arrived, they spoke with him directly. One of the officers confirmed what he had already feared. There was something in the backyard that should not have been there. Soon after he left the property because it had officially become a crime scene, and the authorities took over from there.
Just hang on 1 second. So the person inside is deceased.
There is someone is deceased in there. So they asked me to hang out for a bit, but I don't think I'm gonna be finish this one up, guys. So, all right, so I'm gonna fill out this witness statement real quick, and then I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna leave it messy, but they're gonna have, you know, someone to. All right, so at this point, all I know is that the property is a crime scene. They could have just died from old age. I don't know. I'm gonna load up, head out. They've got my information if they need it, and that's this one.
Imagine if nothing had caught his attention. He could have finished the job, packed up his equipment, and left without thinking twice. Whatever was hidden in that backyard might have remained undiscovered for much longer. How many people walked past without noticing anything, and how many assumed it was harmless? His decision to trust that feeling is what led to the truth being discovered when it was. Sometimes the smallest warning signs matter more than they appear. What would you have done in that situation? On September 13th, 2025, YouTubers Sanborn Construction Group and a friend were sent to inspect an abandoned house in Detroit for an out-of-state investor. The assignment sounded simple: enter the property, evaluate its condition, and report back. But what they found would leave anyone just as shocked. Even before stepping inside, they could tell this was no ordinary place. Everything about it felt off.
All right, so we're back at another property for a client of ours. They are out of New York. They found this one. They said, let's write it up. Let's get an estimate on it. I see all the windows are gone, front, back, side. That's before we even get inside. So let's see how we look inside. You can see already, even the steps, we're not even in yet,
Steps,
right?
windows, siding, landscaping.
You don't think you could keep this siding?
This is by far one of the biggest weeds I've seen this year.
Although the building had already been labeled as dangerous, nothing immediately appeared suspicious once they entered. At first, it looked like just another abandoned and deteriorating house.
So this was probably a room. They instead opened it up and made this all one big room.
It's been designated as a dangerous building.
And usually dangerous building will eventually hit the demo list. And they'll just knock it over because kids or whoever could come in here and get themselves hurt.
This is some of that fire from upstairs.
Oh yeah, so there's a fire upstairs, or there was a fire upstairs, and we'll show you guys that, but obviously they started ripping down a little bit of it.
Then they spotted it, a small firearm resting openly on the floor. There was no attempt to conceal it, no clear reason why it had been left there just sitting in plain view, as though someone had abandoned it in a hurry and never returned. Then they realized there was more than one, and the situation quickly became far more serious.
Connor.
What?
It's a real gun.
Is that really? It's not a cap gun or anything?
Oh yeah, that's real.
Just be careful. Don't shoot yourself.
There's gotta be a way to open it, but I don't see like any form of a release.
There's another one. Probably just...
Think this is someone currently living here?
I don't know.
Without hesitating, the explorers called 911 to report what they had found. There was no way of knowing whether the weapons were connected to something from the past, or if someone planned to come back for them later. As they continued looking around the property, they also found burner phones, making the entire situation feel even more suspicious.
Detroit 911, what is the address of the emergency?
We're a contractor working in an area. We just entered a dwelling for the first time. We found 2 handguns in the house.
You never know. They could be part of a previous crime. They could be just somebody stashing them to come back later and get them, because when you look through here, there's burner phones that Frank's found.
While waiting for authorities, they kept observing the condition of the house, which showed obvious signs of damage and neglect.
Ceiling's gone. Roof's got some issues. We can show you outside. It needs a new roof, needs windows, needs flooring, needs electrical because everything's been stripped. So typically this would be a bedroom with a door, but you can see right here, that's a little bit of the evidence of the fire. You see how black that is? There was more fire in here too.
Eventually, police officers arrived and began questioning them while inspecting the property themselves. What had started as a routine inspection had now become something much more serious.
We're over here checking on a house for an investor, and I turned over some clothing and found 2 handguns. Okay. I mean, I'm assuming they're real. I don't know anything about guns.
I got you.
I'm assuming they'll take it back to the shop. From there, they'll do some kind of test on it, fingerprint or bullet or something, I don't really know. See if it's linked to anything that they have open in their system, I would guess. And the amount of houses we've done, I'm surprised this is...
I wonder how many we've scooped up and thrown away.
And not noticed?
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, when walls come down and stuff.
Imagine if they had ignored the discovery or simply pushed the weapons aside and continued exploring. 2 people inside a condemned building unknowingly touching what could have been evidence. The firearms could have been loaded or connected to something far worse hidden elsewhere in the house. The moment they handled them, they became part of whatever story that property was hiding. Sometimes the safest decision is to stop back away and let professionals take over. In situations like this, even small choices can change everything. What would you have done if you were inside that house? An internet personality and outdoor explorer known as Vincent Sear decided to go on a short camping trip at sea on a boat, but the trip did not go the way he expected. At some point, he lost control of the boat because of strong waves, and once he realized he was stranded in the middle of the ocean, he immediately called for rescue.
I'm on Lake Travis right now, sailboat. Sail has gone down. The conditions are really bad right now.
Bob winds.
Bob winds. We're outside of Bob winds. Hi, I'm at Lake Travis right now, outside of winds. Our sailboat has lost control. We do not have control. Hey!
Think about it this way: if Vincent did not have a phone, if the battery had died, or if the signal had cut out before the call connected, he would have been completely alone on that boat, drifting farther away, with no way to contact anyone. The ocean doesn't care who you are or how many followers you have. It does not stop, and it does not offer second chances. Sometimes the difference between a story you later tell and something much worse comes down to a single signal bar. In his case, he had it, and that changed everything. Out there, even small things can decide how a situation ends, especially when everything else feels completely out of control. Would you have been ready if that signal had not been there? The video comes from Shane and Annie Adventures, an Irish van life channel documenting real road trips across Europe, including both routine travel and unexpected situations. It is April 2026, outside Seville, Spain. After struggling to reach the city, they choose an overnight park-up outside Seville. They move from a more active area to a quieter, isolated car park beside an abandoned football field to get signal. While practical, the location exchanges visibility and safety for convenience. Once parked, there is little surrounding activity, with no nearby vehicles, lighting, or movement.
Hello?
No.
Gracias.
Nada. So we are here. This park up is literally in the middle of nowhere. There was a motorbike down here at the very front, started flashing the lights at us. I don't know what he was doing, and then he pulled up beside us and he was like,
I thought he was saying damn it, which means give me.
Yeah, I know.
And I was like, he wants money.
No, because he had his phone and he was like Uber Eats or something.
You should have said yes.
Oh, well, this is what I see if I was cooking. He was like, Dorian.
Maybe he's going to the French van.
Yeah, I think so.
Later, at around 1 a.m., footsteps are heard outside. The sound is close and consistent, suggesting someone moving around the van rather than simply passing by. In a location with no visible activity, the presence becomes harder to explain. With limited visibility from inside, they rely completely on sound.
Van was walking around the van, walking up and down. I did.
Because I just sleep anywhere. But now it's in my head. So let's go. This is like one of the first times we...
No, it is the first time.
Yeah, it is the first time that we have to move.
People say, like, when you have a gut feeling, just get up and leave because...
Turn right onto Calle Virgen de los Dolores.
The van and around the van, so I don't know what was going on. We're out in the middle of nowhere and there's nobody about, so I don't think he should be about at 1:30 in the morning.
Meters.
So we're going to go to the other park up, which is just around here, but we know there's like...
They decide to leave immediately. Still in pajamas, they start the van and drive to a more populated area. The decision is made early before the situation can escalate or be clarified. This places control above information.
We've woken up here in our little park up outside Seville. That fella walking around our van, I don't know what he was doing, but at 1:30 nobody should be walking up and down and around your van, so we decided to move over here. We had a beautiful quiet night's sleep. It took us a while to get back to sleep, but it's time to get up, get an Uber, get into the city and see what Seville has to offer. We had to move back here this morning just to do a little bit of work because this is the only spot in this little town that has Wi-Fi. But last night we could hear somebody walking around here because this is like a gravel road and they were walking up and down the van, around the van. It just didn't feel safe.
The following morning they reflect on the night. They never identify who was outside or why. Although they briefly return to the area for signal, they rule it out as an overnight location. Nothing really happens, but that is the point. There are no answers, just a strange situation and a quick decision to leave. In places like this, trusting your gut can matter more than knowing the truth. Sometimes not knowing is already a warning, so would you stay to figure it out or leave before it gets worse? The next chilling video comes from Desert Point Adventures, a US-based channel, documenting off-grid camping and remote wilderness exploration. It is July 28, 2022, in Coconino National Forest, Arizona, United States. The couple sets up camp several miles off the main roads. The location is intentionally secluded, with no nearby camps, minimal traffic, and limited access routes. The terrain includes open land, scattered structures, and water tanks, but overall visibility is wide and unobstructed. Isolation here is deliberate.
To me, it sounded like somebody playing music from their phone.
Yeah, phone or like a personal speaker. We already had hiked down that road to do the geocache. No campsites, no people, and the road just dead end.
While hiking music is heard in the distance, the sound stands out immediately. In open environments, audio can travel far, but without visible roads or people. The source becomes difficult to identify. The mismatch between what is heard and what is seen becomes the key factor.
And then not too long after, Doug was just outside and we heard music playing in the distance. There's no other campsites around us. We didn't see anybody come down our road. It was just strange. And then we kept hearing the music kind of getting closer, like it was walking to the side of us. So we moved. And now we're here, and it's really pretty. You would hear it, and then it would stop, and it was like to me, it sounded like somebody playing music from their phone.
Yeah, phone or like a personal speaker.
And it would play for like maybe 40 seconds, and then it would stop. And the next time it would play, it would sound like it was closer, and then it would stop again. We thought maybe somebody was singing really loud, like further away. But then when we started hearing it get closer,
they reassess the surroundings. There's no nearby movement, no lights, and no visible approach routes. The environment appears unchanged despite the repeated sound. This reinforces the inconsistency.
On relatively rough road. Obviously Jeep people, side-by-sides, they're going to be coming through the main road, but then we took a side forest road. It's probably for just the rancher, whoever is leasing that land, to get back to their livestock. So really, was absolutely no reason for someone to come from there. We already had hiked down that road to do the geocache. No campsites, no people, and the road just dead ends. There was no other road within a half mile of us. So it just doesn't make sense how someone was there, but right by our campsite.
If you get a weird feeling, you leave.
Listen to your gut.
Shout out to crime junkies. Be weird, be rude, stay alive. In a few hours, we have to head to Sedona. I have a engagement photo shoot there tonight. The couple's coming from Vegas, and this is the only day left that they can do the session.
Back on a relatively rough road, typical vehicle activity would be expected only on the main route. However, they had taken a side forest road, a dead-end path leading to a tank likely used by a rancher to access livestock. There is no reason for anyone to come from that direction. They had already explored that road earlier, finding no campsites, no people, and confirming that it ends completely. After checking their maps, there were no other roads within half a mile, and no trails in the area. In a few hours, they plan to head to Sedona. The road ends in a dead end, and access is limited. Anyone nearby would have had to pass them or be visible at some point. The continued absence of a source keeps the situation unresolved. The sound is there, but its origin is not. Everything about this situation feels off a clear sound, with no visible source. Each part might make sense on its own, but together it does not quite add up, especially in an open place where you should be able to see what you hear. So if you heard something like that with no one around, would you stay and figure it out or leave before it gets closer? On October 31st, 2019, the YouTube channel Action Kid uploaded a video showing a quiet nighttime walk through the Ramble in Central Park. The creator behind the channel is known for simply walking through different places around the world and sharing real-life experiences with viewers. But this particular walk did not stay peaceful for long. Late at night, the creator, often called AK, entered the park with a flashlight, slowly walking along one of the narrow paths. Almost immediately, the park felt unusually quiet. The only sounds came from his footsteps and the occasional rustling of leaves nearby. As he moved deeper into the ramble, the silence began to feel heavier. After a few moments, the beam from his flashlight landed on a small wooden shelter just off the path. Under it, someone was sitting quietly in the dark. The person did not speak or move much when the light briefly passed over them, but the farther he walked, the more uneasy the atmosphere became. After a short distance, AK began to notice several people standing together in the darkness. It was a group of around 7 individuals gathered along the path. For a moment, he may have thought about turning back, but that could easily draw attention. Instead, he chose what seemed like the safest option, keep walking as if nothing was wrong, and passed them without causing a scene. As he got closer, one man from the group stepped forward and began walking toward him with clear intent. The tension in the moment rose immediately.
No, I'm not. I don't know where I am.
Can you turn that off?
Yeah, sure.
Fucking light you up.
Wow, this is scary. This is scary.
For a brief second, he hesitated, not wanting to escalate the situation, and decided to turn off his flashlight. Sometimes the safest move is not to react too quickly, but to stay calm and avoid attention. So in a moment like that, would you keep walking or turn back?
Turn the fucking light up. Okay, I'm scared now. Who would be wandering here? I'll just do the lowest setting.
That's it for tonight. Which moment creep? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story. Share it with us and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.